Ironically, Candace Parker is in a little bit of a hot seat right now.
Yeah, she probably shouldn't go to Chicago.
Candace Parker just did something you're not supposed to do in the WNBA, and the backlash came fast. If you follow women's basketball, you know the situation. Caitlin Clark is shattering records, packing arenas, and delivering historic TV ratings, yet the criticism hasn't stopped, and it's not just aimed at her. Anyone who supports Clark without giving equal credit to every other player quickly becomes a target. That's exactly where Candace Parker, one of the league's all-time greats, finds herself. Clark's rookie season has been remarkable. Fourth in MVP voting, holder of the single-season assist record, and a two-time Athlete of the Year. She's a generational talent, but say that without adding, everyone else is just as important. And you get branded part of the problem. Parker has praised Clark before, but this week she took it further, shutting down one of the worst talking points about Clark and putting the spotlight back on those pushing it. That's when the shift happened. She wasn't just defending Clark anymore, she was taking on an entire narrative, and in the WNBA, that's a line you're not supposed to cross. So, what did she say, and why is it hitting a nerve with the old guard? Let's break it down.
I just think that when you bring opinions to the table, you gotta have something to back it up. So you can't just say stuff.
Sadly, Candace is finding out the hard way that's just not how the WNBA works right now. When it comes to Caitlin Clark's impact both on the court and in the league's bank account, many choose the same play, ignore it or downplay it, until it seems ordinary. You don't have to take my word for it, just look at how ESPN handled the All-Star Game numbers.
It's fine to just say, just post the ratings. That is fine. That is absolutely fine. But, it is another situation than pretending like Caitlin Clark doesn't exist.
ESPN didn't compare this year's All-Star Game to last year's, the one Caitlin Clark actually played in. Instead, they jumped back to 2023. Why? Because if they'd used last year's numbers, they'd have to admit the truth. Ratings fell 36% without Clark on the floor. There's no legitimate reason to skip the most recent season, unless you're trying to bury the Caitlin Clark effect and push the idea that the league is doing just fine without her. This tactic isn't new, it's the old guard's go-to move. Even though Clark is raising revenue for the entire WNBA, there's an unwritten rule: you can't celebrate her alone. You have to sprinkle an equal praise for everyone else, or you'll be accused of tearing the league down. That double standard only grows when the topic shifts to Angel Reese. The league seems determined to put her on Clark's level in popularity. Credit to Angel, she's built a strong brand, and outside of Clark, no player has more name recognition right now. But here's the truth you're not supposed to say: Angel Reese isn't on Clark's level in talent or economic impact. Say that out loud, and you'll be hit with instant outrage. Stats, ticket sales, and arena sizes won't matter. Meanwhile, taking shots at Clark is perfectly acceptable, with her missing much of this season and looking less than 100% when she has played. The usual critics have been quick to pounce. Case in point, after the Fever won the Commissioner's Cup without Clark and then beat the Aces, ESPN analyst Carolyn Peck didn't just praise the team, she floated the idea that they might be better off without her.
Look, I think that Indiana is even more dangerous when Caitlin Clark doesn't play, because she's a ball-dominant guard. The ball's in her hands a lot, so you know what you need to try to take away. But when you look at Indiana now, they've got so many.
And that was only the beginning. After the Fever went on a 5-game winning streak, the focus wasn't on the wins, it was on reviving the better without Caitlin narrative.
We have to deal with the possibility that the Indiana Fever right now, in this moment, are better without Caitlin Clark. And that sounds crazy, and people are saying, how can you say that? I'm saying it because we're seeing it.
It's gone from subtle jabs to outright dismissal. People are now openly claiming Caitlin Clark just isn't that good.
See, he always trying to push the CC narrative. She good, but she not that good.
Here's what they don't want to admit: the Fever are 8-5 with Caitlin Clark in the lineup. Without her, 9-9. That's not just a stat, it's proof. Every time the better without her narrative surfaces, the numbers knock it right back down. But this is the WNBA right now. If there's a way to downplay Clark's impact, someone will take it, even when the evidence says otherwise. That's why what happened next is important. Stepping into the middle of it all is Candace Parker, a WNBA legend who isn't just defending Clark, but directly challenging the league's favorite false narratives. And for that, she's catching major heat. Parker has praised Clark before, but this was different. On ESPN's First Take, when asked about the resentment over all the attention Clark gets, she didn't dodge or give the safe answer. She was direct, logical, and said exactly what the critics didn't want to hear, and it lit the next wave of outrage.
So crazy to me because I'm asked so many times if I'm resentful in any type of way for where the WNBA is right now. My job was to leave the game better than I came into it. You think Cheryl Miller is resentful for me that I had a league to play in? No, she's being the mentor that she is, and she's supporting and loving and sitting courtside cheering on Juju Watkins. And I'm doing the same for Caitlin Clark and all the women in the WNBA.
Candace didn't tiptoe. She didn't
Candace didn't hold back or soften her words. She looked straight into the camera and told the WNBA, stop being jealous, stop being insecure, and start appreciating that Caitlin Clark is about to make everyone more money. Fans saw it as simple common sense, but to the mob, it was radioactive, and she didn't stop there. When Gemily Hill took a shot at Clark's turnovers, Candace swatted it right back.
Floor vision. I know she had that 10 turnover game.
Yeah.
But that's something.
That's like a learning. I think all of us
Exactly.
young turn the ball over,
She'll get better.
and especially when you're the focal point of the entire defense, you're gonna have more turnovers. You're gonna have more live ball situations, and the competitive element of you do tend to take chances early on, and you learn that sometimes it might be a highlight, but 7 out of 10 times it's probably gonna be a turnover. And I had to learn that because I was, some of the biggest things with Pat was like offensive rebounding and me turning the ball over. So those are the two things.
No apology, no backtracking. She defended Caitlin again, straight and unapologetic. But this is where Candace really crossed the line, at least for the old guard. When the conversation shifted to Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese, she committed the WNBA's biggest offense, praising Clark more.
This is where it gets tricky. Caitlin Clark is at an A level. I think in time she's gonna raise up to that S, but in order to put her at that level, she's gotta have a couple more years. So then you got Angel Reese. I put her right at that C level. I think in terms of being above, you have to be able to have the ability to carry a team, be a 1 or 2 option. I think Angel Reese is fantastic at her role, which is offensive rebounding. She showed and demonstrated so much growth in that first year.
Calling Angel Reese C-tier was all it took match. Meet gasoline. Her fans erupted, flooding X with posts blasting Candace as out of touch, and telling her to follow the example of Lisa Leslie and Aja Wilson, who always make sure to praise Angel. But instead of debating her point, the mob went straight for personal attacks. The backlash got so loud that Cheryl Swoops herself jumped in. Asterisk.
Yeah, she probably shouldn't go to Chicago. You probably shouldn't send her back to Chicago. But go ahead, Jordan.
Objectivity was gone in today's WNBA. If you praise Caitlin Clark without immediately declaring Angel Reese a tier star, you're finished blacklisted. But Candace didn't flinch. No apology. No backpedaling. She doubled down. Asterisk.
That being said, the facts that I want to bring to this table, and I challenge anybody to tell me, what player are you taking Angel Reese over of those that I just listed?
Guess we'll wait for their response.
Oh, we're not gonna, okay.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
But what I'm saying is, in what player, and this is no disrespect, these are the greatest players in the game right now. They asked me to rank the tier right now, and I sit in a studio at Turner with Shaq and Chuck, and some of which I think at times they do individually and personally attack people's character. And I think I pride myself on trying to be an analyst that does not do that. I do not attack character. I literally am just, from my point of view, from my opinion, this was the ranking. And so I ask again, are you taking Angel above Paige? Are you taking Angel above Arike? Are you taking Angel above Sabrina or Kelsey or Caitlin or Asia or Nafisa or Brianna? No, that does not make her a bad player. That does not make me a hater. Do I think she could be up?
Then she went all in, torching the players for putting on one of the flattest, least competitive all-star game showings in recent memory.
Cannot come out there with those shirts of pay us what you owe us and then do that in the all-star game. Like, I just think that it would have really maximize the moment of wearing the shirt along with giving the product. Because I tried to watch the All-Star game, I'll be honest. But after one slow Euro step and people pulling up for the, I was like, I can't, I'm a fan of the WNBA and I can't watch this. So I just think that, no, you all didn't have to, but I think it was an opportunity that you could have built on like more momentum, if that makes sense.
And she wasn't wrong. That All-Star game coming right after players wore shirts demanding fair pay was flat out embarrassing. The pace crawled, the energy never showed up. And let's be real, without Caitlin Clark on the sidelines keeping viewers hooked, those ratings ESPN tried to bury would have fallen off a cliff.